Hello, everybody. I am Tanyalashea, your GM, and we're back again with X Marks the Spot, the real world. So we're going to jump right into our adventure with a quick recap of what our interesting gang got up to last episode. So in our last episode, we were introduced to the Piers. That is our group with Raymond, Cesar, Liv, and Kallie. So you guys were a rambunctious crew who runs the central border of Lake Michigan and Chicago. Obviously, this is 1930s fake or fantasy Chicago, but you do own a legitimate Lake Michigan touring company called 12 Ways Touring, where you take tourists and locals alike out on the lake to meet the fishes. And sometimes they come back. We also went back in time to a really swinging New Year's Eve party at Raymond's place, where anyone was in attendance, including Mrs. Russo herself, who showed up for a couple of moments, the head of the Red Syndicate. You guys learned a couple of things at that party. You learned that there was a lot of tension in the upper echelon with the Russos and the Volkovs, with Fatima and the Volkovs or Rudolph, and even with Esfera and Fatima. A lot of interesting things going on that you don't seem to actually be a part of. But in short, there's like something weird going on, not only with just everybody a part of the Red Syndicate, but there's also seems to be some interesting rumors about things that are happening with the rum runners in the sewers. Something going on with how Mrs. Russo is allowing the left hand to operate. Just a lot of strange things happening. And so you all were actually left discussing this the day after the New Year's party, while a blizzard was trying to calm down. And just as you guys were discussing all of this in your main headquarters, Caesar's right-hand man, Seamus, came bearing gifts and some shocking news. And that's where we're continuing our adventure today. So you are all standing in the conference room of 12 Ways Touring, with a blizzard kind of calming down outside, but it's still freezing cold. Millie, your receptionist, is out, has already gotten you guys coffee. She set it down, and then as she was walking out, Seamus is walking in. And if you'll remember, he says that he did what Cesar had asked him to do. He followed Teacup, and unfortunately, he just found that she was crying a lot. And he didn't actually kind of expound on what else happened, but at some point, he also cut off 3 people's fingers, you think, because he does present that to you, as well as presents an interesting rumor or fact or something you're not really sure of, because he says it so bluntly, but he essentially says that there are rat people in the sewers, and that's where we're at now.
What I'm not thinking about rat people. Someone hit you upside the head.
No, he says. No, I mean rat people, boss. Like people, but like with rat parts. And he kind of looks at you like you should just understand what that should look like.
Come on.
I Dora's out of my little pouch and I put her on my shoulder. I mean, you mean like this? Like she's got they got beautiful little rat heads like my Doris?
He kind of looks at I wouldn't have called it beautiful. More terrifying and horrific, or were the words I was thinking of.
Are they like sewn together rat people? Or they like look like they existed that way?
You know, I'm not sure. There was a lot going on. Gil would probably know more than I do.
That's right. I think I want to have a meeting with Gil. What were you saying, Cesar?
Caesar's gonna walk over towards Seamus, and I want to just smell his breath to make sure whether he's been drinking or not. Is this man on something? Like, there ain't no way there's rat people in the sewer. Stuff like that isn't real.
You can certainly tell that no, he hasn't been drinking, but he does smell like the sewers. Even without rolling, you can tell that he's been up all night. And
This must be a costume? These people aren't rats.
I don't think so, Miss Benson. And he kind of pulls out, I don't know if we said we have weird devices, but he's gonna pull out kind of like a copper or maybe a lead lighter. He's gonna be like, no. So what happened was I was watching Miss Teacup, like you said, right? And she was mostly doing a lot of crying. And so I was kind of bored. So then I walked down to the bar just for like a second. I was just gonna just check to see if there were other things I could do. And that's when I heard some screaming. And then I ran towards the screaming, and there were two guys who were, I believe, trying to be taken away by a giant rat person. And that's really the only way I can explain it, because that is what I thought, which was shocking. But I saved one. His name's Gil, and the other one I didn't save. And he just got kind of drug off. And from what I could tell, it looked like a rat person. It had clothes on, so I don't know,
Did you bring this Gil person around here?
Yeah, what'd you put, Gil?
Oh, well, after that whole debacle, we just kind of had a drink, and he told me all about how apparently there's something going on in the sewers. He's a rum runner with the left hand, and so I guess that's happening a lot for them, but I guess nobody's really talking about it.
So the left hand seems to have no idea what these are, and they're just kind of ignoring them.
I didn't ask that.
Okay.
Why was Gil and his compatriot wanted by the rat person? Did Gil have any idea?
Yeah, did
That's
the
it.
red people take his booty that he was smuggling? All the rum or what? Just the people?
Those are good questions that I didn't think of.
Oh, it's not your fault. I'm sure that was really kind of scary, wasn't it?
We
Yeah.
don't pay you to think, so that's okay.
So where is Gil now?
Oh, I don't know. I guess back in the north. I don't really know where the left hands hang out.
So you rescued him and then went to the bar to get a drink and then didn't bring him back even though you figured we'd probably want to talk to him?
Oh yeah, he did say that he was super grateful. And so if I ever needed anything, I could reach out to him, like owe him a favor. I told him that wasn't necessary, of course.
He owes you a life debt.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
feel like a little bit of questions is not a life debt repaid. So I feel like we could talk to him and it would be all right, right?
That makes sense. How long you been up, Seamus? When's the last time you got some sleep?
2 nights ago. Oh, actually, I was at the party. So, what day is it?
What day is it?
This was the morning
First,
party.
is it right after the New Year's Eve?
Yeah. I don't know what day it is actually. On
I feel like
Fair
it's like the third or fourth.
let's call it a Tuesday.
It's a work day.
Yeah, that's why I came into work.
That's right.
I mean, every day's a work day for us. What are you talking about?
That's
Oh.
fair.
That is true.
But if you love your job, it's not.
That's my live. Dungeon Master, I have a question about the left hand that we established last time, but I do not remember. There's 2 people running the left hand, a brother and sister, right? And then, and what were their names?
Geraldine and Gerald.
Geraldine and Gerald.
Twins.
Right. And we established that Liv talks tea with Geraldine, and I shoot the shit with Gerald in the sewers.
Correct. Quite literally, possibly.
Yeah. Target practice. It's fun. And from our previous interactions, they have not brought this up with anybody in our gang at least. Right?
I suppose I think it would depend on, I would say right now you all don't know that this is happening. Perhaps they do know, and perhaps they just haven't been telling anyone because it sounds insane, or because they kind of know about it or don't know about it, or maybe it's just a rumor. I think you would have to see if they already knew about it beforehand and were keeping it to themselves. But so far, you guys don't have any clue about this.
Okay, this is all brand new to us.
Yeah.
Well, this seems to be a mystery we're gonna have to get to the bottom of.
I mean, are these rat people really affecting our business?
I mean, we're supposed to be the ones that drag people down to the depths, not the rats.
You make a fair point. We
And what
need to be a game in town.
Weren't we just talking about wanting to do something with the left hand by being in?
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
I believe there are rat people. This seems a bit idiotic to me.
Yeah, at the party last night, there was talk about there being problems in the sewers, and I thought that they were talking about the left hand being a problem for our gang in general. But it seems that they meant literal rats.
Cesar just shakes his head. I don't believe it.
I mean, rats that could kill a jaguar.
Yo, did you hear something about one of these rats killing a jaguar?
Fatima
Yeah.
lost one of her cats.
Nah,
That's
it's
right.
just
That was the rumors that were going around.
Well, that'd be a real role reversal.
a rat ate the cat. Look, you guys got any more questions for my boy, or can I tell him to go get some sleep?
Oh no, go get some sleep.
Yeah, we'll find Gil and have a good conversation at some
Look,
point.
you rest up, and then you think real long and hard about whether all this is a fever dream or not. Then you come back to us.
Yeah, boss. No problem. As he walks out, did you guys close the door, or was the door closed?
I think we would close the door on those kind of conversations.
Okay.
Probably a rule of
Yeah.
thumb.
Okay.
And,
As
like,
he comes,
Do we
It was-
have a button we press that closes the door?
Yes,
What?
please.
Okay. As he walks out, Millie is standing with her clipboard and she walks in. But she kind of stands at the door for a second. I don't know if the meeting was over, but I have your schedule.
Ah, Millie, come on in. Yeah.
Thank you. She smiles and comes in. Basically, you guys have two things on the schedule that she tells you about today. The big one is that one person from this organization is required to go down to the Stallion Hotel, particularly go to the lobby by 8 p.m. tonight. There will be a mass announcement by Mrs. O, and every crew is expected to send someone. So essentially, you have until 8 p.m. to do whatever you'd like to do for the day before whoever needs to be there is there at the Stallion.
Mrs. O herself is going to make this announcement?
Yes.
Well,
Mhm.
suppose I should go since I live there.
That wouldn't make the most sense. You want either me to go or Kallie to go with you?
That might be wise. With
I
all the
take some
tension in the
notes.
house around.
Yeah, I'll bring my notebook.
Millie also reminds you all that you are scheduled to do a trade with the Volkov warehouse today.
What are we
And that-
trading?
Schedule.
Did we establish what this was? Or
Nope.
not yet? Okay,
Nope. You're going to do that right now if you decide to follow it up.
got it. The Volkovs, or which house again?
Their warehouse. That's Rudolph's.
Yeah, I think it's
Rudolph,
true.
okay.
You want me to take point on this one?
That might be wise. It seemed that Rudolph was none too pleased with my schmoozing last night.
Yeah, he doesn't like anyone else who can schmooze like he can. The prick.
He is a very little prick.
And with that, Millie leaves you all to it.
Well, we got our business. Anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here? Do we have any innocent donors coming in?
You don't have anything on the schedule, but you guys always get general walk-ins. What's the process for when a walk-in comes in?
Well, Millie greets
For
them, obviously.
Legit business or legit-ish business?
Yeah. When a
Is the
tourist
lake
comes in
frozen
for
at this
tour.
point?
When it's January. I mean, it could be.
Let's see. I was just looking at how often it freezes.
I feel like in 1920s, like more than it does now, right?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Like, I need to research.
It's our world. We can decide. It's the middle of the blizzard, so if nothing else, I don't know if
Michigan
people are
never
going to be.
Yeah.
down the water state.
Generally, you guys get walk-ins in the high season, which would be like the summer. And then because there's a blizzard, you most likely won't get tourists, but you might get, a local wanting to go out or something like that because they're kind of used to the weather. But right now, Millie doesn't have anything on the schedule. But if you want the process to be when a walk-in comes in that she, takes their information and then has like time slots, has some sort of process when you guys are open, or if you want to close for the day because of the blizzard, you can also do that.
Like, I feel like the office has to stay open just for the sake of other employees coming in and out and making like drops or information or whatever during the day. But I feel like the tours procedure has become kind of passed down to the underlings. Like, it's not a thing. Like, we don't drive a car around for them. But if they're recognized as important clientele, which is like any of the gang members, they're immediately call one of us to like,
That makes sense.
this person needs like a private meeting. Whereas like normies get just like our underlings being like, oh, there's a beautiful view from the top of the Chrysler building. That's
Right.
No, we got that too.
it's just smaller.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. So, what's the way that you'd like Millie to contact you if someone walked in and you guys were out and about of importance?
We don't have phones. I would say,
I mean, I imagine we probably employ a couple of runners.
yeah,
Yeah.
either a runner or I have Betty that stays around my apartment almost all the time. So if they want to call up to my apartment, and Betty will come around and find me.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for them to go through your guys' like right hands.
Or a pack of trained rats.
Or that. I mean,
Or that. I'll keep that in mind. But at the moment, there are no legitimate tours lined up.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I think Kallie still has Eric just shoveling the whole property.
makes it look nice.
Did we, at the end of the last episode, decide we were going to send word to the twins for a meetup?
We had decided we needed to talk to them.
Then we were
And I
interrupted
think
by
we
giant
had
rat
decided
people.
like where we would meet the two of them. Like
Mhm.
you were gonna meet yours at like a tea shop or something, and I was gonna meet mine in my favorite spot in the sewer that I have established. But I don't know if we actually sent word out last episode.
We gotcha.
How have you not seen the rat people?
Right? That's a great question because I'm down there all the time.
It turns out you just thought they were giant rats, and you're like, how do I get one of those?
Right, yeah. I was like, ooh, the breeding down here is really pumping up.
I thought Pizza Rat was a spectacle. Let me tell you about giant, Michigan, Chicago sewer rats.
Giant muscle rats.
Watch out for these Russell mats or muscle.
You're doing so well tonight.
It's fine.
Maybe we can send Fatima some like flowers for the cat she lost. Really,
That's a
really
good
show that we
idea.
care. Do we know what the jaguar's name that time was?
I
Oh,
don't think so.
yeah, I don't believe you do. No.
And we could have one of our guys look into it though. Although that might be a bit too personal for their liking.
We could just say we're sorry for her loss.
Yes, sorry for your loss, and we're looking into it. Something like that.
Are you?
I mean, we are. If we're looking into the rat people, we sure are.
Fair enough, I guess.
Well, what's on the day's agenda? What do you guys want to do first?
Do we have a specific time for the warehouse drop off?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll head out there probably early morning. I'd like to take a walk around the pier just to see how our guys on the wharves are doing during this blizzard. Probably do that after the drop off.
Yeah, it's pretty well. I don't know if it's pretty early actually. I think because Liv is not an early morning person, so I think at this point it's more like noon. So, but you guys have plenty of time until 8 p.m. So Cesar is making his rounds around the pier. What's everybody else doing?
I'll send a message to Geraldine and see if she wants to meet for tea and pastries.
Okay.
And then tell Lawrence to go get really good pastries.
Okay. And what's everybody else doing?
I was gonna also send out a message to Gerald to meet in our usual spot for some target practice.
All right.
And then I was gonna see if we have any fresh targets for me to bring down with me.
Okay.
Callie's gonna work on that sympathy card and figure out what flowers to send for the jaguar.
Are you going to try to determine which cat it is, or just send a general sympathy card?
I think like a general one. I mean, I could try to ask. Maybe send Eric out to ask, but not too directly. Like try to find, I don't know, people on the periphery that might know something.
Okay. Cesar's taking a walk around the pier. Liv is sending a correspondence to Geraldine. Raymond is sending a correspondence to Gerald. And Kallie, are you wanting to have Eric stop shoveling and go do something else? Or are you wanting to go and find?
I think she'll actually go with him to try to purchase things and maybe actually bring them in person.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then Kallie is going to find cards and flowers for Fatima. Cesar, as you're making your rounds, what are you kind of doing with the people on the pier?
Just checking in, seeing how the snow's treating them with all this weather, whether they're able to keep it going. Playing it real nice and friendly.
Okay, but they are all expected to be in.
Well, we don't so much. I'm basically just trying to make safe face with the fishermen down there, be the caring, nice landlord that I am, But then, yeah, any of our actually dedicated workers who are a part of our enterprise, making sure that they're doing the thing and seeing how they're doing it.
Okay. Yeah, you're walking around. The fishermen look like there aren't all of them aren't out today, probably because of the snow, but you also can notice that a couple of the boats are out. So perhaps some fishermen have been out for a couple of days already, and so they haven't come back to the docks. All of the workers that are supposed to be in seem to be accounted for. And I'm assuming you'll have someone who works at the docks kind of like the leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of our manager guys.
As you're kind of making your rounds, you don't see that person anywhere, but you do see kind of like someone who looks like they'd be in charge. They're just not someone you've seen around here before. They might be, someone your guy left in charge. Maybe they're new. You're not sure, but he's kind of like walking up and down the pier, talking to people once in a while. He's wearing like a general like fisherman / workers outfit. He looks like he'd be a part of your crew. He doesn't yet see you, but he's just kind of walking around chatting with people.
I'll watch him for like 10 minutes, maybe half an hour. Just keep an eye on him, see what he's doing before I go over. I also want to keep, as I'm walking around, I'm kind of keeping an eye out for anyone from other territories who I'd recognize who maybe shouldn't be here.
You're walking around. This gentleman, you can kind of see him. He kind of crouches down to someone who's like bringing something up on a boat. He kind of talks to them. They kind of like, what's it called? Shake hands. Couldn't think of the word. They kind of shake hands. He keeps walking and he looks at you and then looks away and continues to walk. Go ahead and make a brains roll.
Brains.
DC here is going to be 10.
Well, this will have to be a great roll. I rolled a 1.
An amazing roll.
Perfect.
Seems on the level.
Let's get out. Go ahead and roll your. This gentleman is going to walk past you, and you guys are literally going to make eye contact. And he's just going to smile and kind of give you a nod, and expecting a nod back, but not intending to stop. So he is going to roll charm. So go ahead and roll against him. You can either roll charm or brains. I'll allow.
Now refresh my memory, because I do have the supernatural charisma ability. How does that work again? I don't have that saved.
You do. You would add your D4.
Okay. Can I use that? Because I kind of want to stop him. And yeah.
All
right. And then I'll be rolling my charm, my grit, my charm. Yeah.
Charm or brains, yeah.
Well, let's see. This charm roll fell off the table. A 1 out of my D6. And this D4.
He rolled a 9. If
Here's
so,
a 2, so I got a total of 3.
3. Ooh, that's 5
Pretty
under.
sure it's just a grimace. I just grimace at him.
You two block eyes as he goes by, and while you don't initially recognize him, you feel like you've seen him before. Maybe he's like Big Tony's cousin. He looks like he's in his family type of situation, maybe a little bit green. In fact, you're kind of excited, you're seeing Big Tony's keeping it in the family. There's a bright young man here working his way up, clearly has earned the respect of the guy you left in charge to be left in charge today. I mean, honestly, you feel like he could really use, your mentorship.
Hey, Big Tony not around today?
He looks at you wide-eyed and then kind of looks around like you're like surprised that you're talking to him. No, he's had gone down to the other side of the pier, sir, Mr. Krieg. He looks a little nervous, but that's pretty normal for you.
Yeah, relax, kid. I'm not in a biting mood today. Just checking out, seeing how you guys are doing down here.
Yeah, sir, we're doing good. Everyone's been, tip top. It's cold out here. Just walking around until Sammy gets back. So,
do I know who Sammy is, or is this a different name that I don't know?
I'm gonna say with that role you just did, you know a Sammy is here and works for you.
Fair. And what's Sammy up to? What is he getting up to right now?
Oh, he's doing good. He's just he's been out with some of the other fishmen the last couple of days, so it's been busy. That's why I'm kind of filling in. But he should be back in a couple hours. So, can I get you anything, Mr. Krieg? Can I get you a water or a coffee?
No, I mean, yeah, sure, I could do for a cup of coffee. It's pretty cold out here now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to get you a coffee. And he kind of almost like does a mini bow in respect and kind of shuffles off to the little shack that they have where they can keep like little odds and ends, but also can keep like a little thermos and their like lunches and stuff like that to get you a cup of coffee. While you are continuing to do your rounds, Liv, you have sent Lawrence to go and get some good pastries. And the letter that you are sending to Geraldine does get to her. She lives way up on the north side, but I'll say that either you decide for them to take a shortcut, so either they take like the sewers, like a tunnel or something like that, but they get there pretty quickly. Even though there's not much in terms of public transportation that Lawrence takes. He's able to get to places much quicker than other people. So he is already at the pastry shop getting pastries, but Geraldine is also getting the letter at the same time. So what do you say in this letter to Geraldine?
She writes it in her absolute best, but very legible handwriting. My dear Geraldine, it has been far too long since we've had coffee or tea or any of the delicious pastries that I know you love so much. Why don't you come on by today? I'm going to have Lawrence pick up some delicious eclairs and tarts, and we can just catch up. Your favorite, Liv. And like she signed the I with a heart.
Lovely. Go ahead and make a charms roll, and it is going to be opposed. So let me get on out my dice. Here we go.
D12, don't fail me now if I can find you. There you are.
Oh, she rolled a 1.
Amazing. I was going to ask if I needed charisma on this. Well, I rolled a 5. So not great out of 12. Would my enhanced charisma help?
No, I think that's good. I'm going to instead roll her brains to see how she interprets this letter. Okay. That's what happens. And so you are expecting Geraldine to come back. You don't get a letter back, but you also know that she's not really a writer. But if you have met up with her before, it's usually one way. Like, hey, come by when you have some time, and she just comes by.
And then I use the excuse to laze around comfortably all day waiting for her. It's great.
Exactly. Yeah. So if anyone tells you, don't you have work to do? I'm actually expecting someone at some point.
I am actively working right now.
Yeah, like anytime today they could stop by. So I can't. Really perfect. So yes, you are expecting Geraldine for, let me also quickly pull up and roll for, well, not roll for Lawrence really, but see what Lawrence is doing.
Don't let me down, Lawrence.
Okay. All right. So you are waiting on Geraldine. And since you've invited her for tea, we're going to assume that she thinks that's like afternoon tea. So you can expect her like in the next 2 hours.
Perfect. Nap time.
Meanwhile, Kallie, you are out and about looking for a good sympathy card and flowers to give to Fatima.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll brains. DC is going to be, I'm going to say it's a 5. I think most people would know this.
Okay. My D8. That's a 5, and that's +1 for brain, so 6.
Okay. You know that Fatima has a gorgeous garden. It's actually a huge, beautiful, exotic garden that has many different types of plants from all over the world. She's a huge gardener. So your flowers, to be like, if you want to go for impressive, should be impressive if you're getting her flowers. You also know, based off of that her family lives down on the south side, and she does have her I think it's 5 cats or 7 cats, one of them. She does have huge cats that prowl, but they only prowl at night. So if you were to visit her during the day, you could do that, preferably without issue.
So Kallie will go with Eric to the most impressive exotic place to find flowers.
Good stuff. You get her flowers, a nice card. Are you going to try to hand deliver it in person?
Yeah, I think she's gone to enough effort walking around during this winter weather to go ahead and deliver it herself.
Okay.
I mean, Eric is carrying the flowers, but yeah.
I'll say that you take your time making your way down to the Kane territory. Now, are you on good terms? Is your crew on good terms with the Kane territory?
That's a great question. I mean, we were friendly enough last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Raymond would try to be on good terms with everybody. I think the only one that has issues with us at the moment is Rudolph, but he seems to be having issues with everybody.
Liv firmly believes that she's on good terms with everybody regardless, so.
Okay. Well, we'll say that you assume that you're on good terms. So when you make your way kind of across the imaginary border that is highly unrecognizable by most people, you don't feel like you would get accosted. But as soon as you kind of start to get closer and closer to Candy Cane's, which is the cabaret that Fatima owns in her home, you can tell that you're not in your neighborhood anymore. There are eyes always on you, both of you. But you are unaccosted by anyone as you make your way to Fatima's home. Kind of like how I explained, she does have a beautiful, massive garden that's actually in the front of her home. And then her actual house is more of like a little tiny, almost like a little Tuscan villa type of situation where there's an inside atrium inside the first part of her home. And then there's like a beautiful stucco house that has vines and flowers trellising up the side. It looks very peaceful and very beautiful, but there's a good amount of land between the entrance of where you are to the front door. There's like an acre or so. And then it's also all the way around. But there's no gate. So you're able to just walk up if you'd like.
Kallie will walk up and motion for Eric to knock.
He knocks. The first person that actually answers the door is an older woman who is wearing kind of like an apron. And she is clearly either like housekeeper or someone who takes care of the grounds. But she kind of looks at you and gives you a small smile, but doesn't say anything. She's kind of waiting for you to say something.
We've come to pay our respects for the loss that Fatima has encountered lately.
I'm assuming she can see the flowers in your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. She kind of sees the flowers, sees that you're saying something, but I'll probably say even without rolling that you can kind of tell that she doesn't speak much English.
Okay.
And so she's going to kind of like yell into the home and kind of ask you to wait a minute for Fatima. And as she's getting Fatima, Raymond, you have sent a correspondence to Gerald. Who have you sent? Someone or just a random person?
I'm probably just a random person for the initial, just like, hey, let's meet at the spot message.
Do you have a date or not a date, but do you have a time on it?
Let's say 3 o'clock if it's noon.
Okay.
That gives him like time to be like no or yes. And that also gives me time to rustle up a body for target practice.
Gotcha. Okay. You send that off. You kind of get a response back from the guy that you sent. He comes back with a piece of paper that just has an X mark on it. And that basically usually means from Gerald, yes. But he mainly only speaks in code. But you know
Cool.
that.
Yeah.
So you are out rustling yourself some target practice. Are you going anywhere in particular?
Let's see. We normally dump our bodies around the pier. So I'd probably go out to our pier where our boat is and see if they have anybody they're dumping today. And have one of the boys carry it for me.
Okay. So you go out near the pier, probably where Cesar is making his rounds. And so we'll come back to Cesar. Cesar, the young man who went to get you a coffee or something hot to drink. You see him go inside of the little shack. Do you continue your rounds?
I'm gonna follow him.
Perfect.
I'll head over to the shack.
Okay. You kind of this is
Every time.
Remember.
every time.
At one point, you're going to remember turned off, and we're going to remember to take
Yeah, so you go and you kind of like follow him. He's not really like paying attention, but he does go inside and close the door to the little shack. And you can kind of hear some stuff happening in there. Go ahead and roll your flight or fight as he tries to wiggle himself out the back window and run away. So it's going to be DC, I think. He's in DC. He doesn't have any stats, but I'm gonna say he's probably pretty quick. So let's make it a 5.
Let's see. I think I rolled a 6. 6 on 6.
On your flight?
On fight.
You rolled a 6 on your fight. Oh, okay. So you're trying to what are you trying to do?
If he's gonna start to book away, I'm gonna catch him as he goes. If I see him trying to head towards the back window, I'll move around to the other side of the window as he is, and maybe when he hops out the window, I'll just kind of like snag him by the arm.
Oh, are you gonna do that with your arms? Are you trying to? So I would categorize that as brawn.
I mean, brawn's way better if I can use brawn.
Yeah.
Okay. 7.
Okay. Yeah. You
way better.
So much better. Yeah, you see him basically clambering out of the back window. As he kind of clambers out head first and kind of hits his feet and knees to the ground and stands up, you basically are able to grab him. And just as you grab him, he starts to basically try to fight you off. So he is going to try to hit you, and he is going to brandish a switchblade. We'll give him a D6. So I'm going to roll, and then you're going to roll whatever you'd like to do to stop him, either brawn or fight if you're using some sort of a weapon. You have to beat a 4.
I have one hand on him as he's pulled out the switchblade with the other hand, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to try and use brawn, and I'll take his hand and do the full, like, lift it up over the back of his head and twist it around behind him. So he's hurt. 15.
Ouch. Raymond, as you come around the corner to the docks, you see all of the fishermen going about their day. You see like the little shack that they keep their things in. And behind the shack, you see Cesar literally holding another man, probably about the scruff. And you just hear a crack as he puts his hand behind his back to take the weapon out of his hand and breaks the man's arm, and he screams. Many of the people at the pier kind of look in that direction, but everyone looks away as soon as they see kind of like Raymond, and they're like, we don't want to be involved in whatever's going on over there. So he kind of screams and the knife drops.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, friend. Now, tell me why it is you're offering a man a coffee and then running out on him.
He is going to...
Sorry, did I see this?
Oh yeah, you saw all of this.
Oh.
You're basically seeing this in real time.
Am I in the building where they are, or did I see it from like outside?
They're outside, and you're outside.
Oh, they're outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is
And
going to... Oh, what was that?
he has a firm hold on him, right?
Yeah.
Great, does. Dope. Okay. Then I just want to stroll over. Very nonchalantly.
Sure. As Cesar, you try to ask him a question. He doesn't look like he's interested in talking to you. And even though his arm is fully broken, he's trying to like kick you and bite you and scratch you with his other arm. He's just trying to like get away like a rat cat in a cage.
Well, now, that just won't do, will it? You know what? I'll try and knock him unconscious. We can talk to him in a more controlled environment.
Okay. Roll brawn. DC is going to be 5.
Hold on, come on. 6.
Yeah, you do it. You crack him over
Right.
the head and he passes out.
Alright.
Well, I think I found my target practice.
Well, what you need in the body?
Yeah, I think I'll ask Gerald to aim for arms and legs on this one. See if we can get him to talk while we do our target practice.
Yeah, you want me to carry him down there for you? I kind of want to see what this guy's got to say.
Ah, that would be just delightful.
Alright. You want to have one of the boys bring one of the cars around?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll go tell one of the boys to bring a car around.
Perfect.
I'll frisk this guy. I want to see what he's got in his pockets.
Sure. Let's see. What would he have in his pockets? I'll say he probably has a pen and maybe like a little notebook that's been scribbled on, but doesn't look like anything of importance.
Alright.
And like his house keys.
Any like a house number on the keys or anything like that?
Nope, they're just plain.
I'll pocket all of it.
Can I ask around in the guys that I'm asking to bring the car around if any of them worked with this guy before? Like where'd he come from?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll charm. I think for these guys, DC is gonna be like we'll do 5, 4. Probably.
All right. Ooh. I rolled. Is that a 6 or a 9? It's so small. It says 6, but I think I have a plus. No, I don't, because it's just a 6 then.
You ask a couple of people, and they kind of look at him, and they're kind of like, I mean, yeah, they've kind of seen him around before, but he's not notable. Like they don't know, they wouldn't really know his name. Not really sure when he got hired, type of situation.
Okay. Is there like a boss on our dock? Like
there is his name. I think I called him Sammy.
There was Tony and
Sammy?
there was Sammy.
I know there's Tony and Sammy. So Tony, oh gosh, that's what I get for making up names. Hold on. So Sammy
was supposed to
is,
be the guy, right?
yeah, he's the doc, the pier head. Big Tony works here, and Cesar knows him personally and his family. And Cesar and I said that you kind of thought that this kid looked like he was a family member of Big Tony, and so you assumed that maybe that's how he got hired.
Okay. And Tony's not around? Can I ask the guys if they've seen Tony?
They have not seen Big Tony today, and they have also not seen Sammy.
And they have not seen Sammy. But this guy said he was Sammy, but he's not Sammy.
He said that he was watching over the docks for Sammy until he got back.
Oh, okay. And nobody's seen Sammy. I'm gonna ask the guys to look around for Sammy and Tony, especially in the hidden compartments, just in case somebody ditched one of our guys in there.
Okay.
That's gonna be a problem if they did ditch one of our boys.
Yeah, those are 2 of our best men. I don't
All
like
right.
this. It stinks to high heaven.
The boys on the docks will be searching for Sammy and Big Tony, and if they find them, they will have them report directly to you. Or if they, find them, they'll let you know.
Good. All right, let's go down to the sewer. Talk to left hand boys.
Sounds
All
good to me.
congenial like.
You two make your way down to the sewers. And just as that's happening, Geraldine finds her way to 12 Ways Touring to meet up with Liv. Liv, this is at 12 Ways Touring, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, Liv, where are you inside of the building?
I think we have a pretty cozy entryway, or like a waiting area, I guess, for tourists to start. It has like a nice fireplace and some plush chairs and couches, and it's where Liv works.
Okay.
And by work, I mean sits there and waits for people to come see her.
I see. Okay. So as you're kind of like in that back like waiting lounge area, you hear the front of the doors of the touring place open, and you hear Millie talking to someone. And you can kind of basically hear like a deeper voice who you kind of know is Geraldine. And then you start to hear Millie's footsteps as she's walking Geraldine back to you. And then she opens up the door and she's like, "Ma'am, we have a Miss Geraldine here to see you."
Oh, perfect. Let her on in.
Geraldine walks in. She is holding your letter kind of in her hand. She's kind of wearing just like a general long, not a trench coat, but like a long wool coat because it's freezing outside, and a huge furry hat. And she kind of comes in. Geraldine, by the way, is like 7 foot, and she has very broad shoulders. And so she's towering over Millie. And she actually is kind of ducking down a little bit to get through the door as she comes in and sits down next to you on one of the sofas.
Oh, hey, gorgeous. How are you? I've missed you.
Yeah, I'm good. This seemed urgent. Did you actually need something, Liv, or did you really just have nothing to do today?
Oh, well, I consider seeing you something very important to do. But if you want to skip the small talk, I did have a couple of questions about how things have been going for you.
She takes off her coat and kind of sits. They're doing fine. Left hand is thriving, as I knew we would.
Oh, well, sure. Under you and your brother, how could they do anything but thrive? You run a tight ship.
Did you want to know something in particular, Liv?
I try and hand her like a cup of tea.
She
Well,
takes it and puts it on the table without drinking it.
you never did have the best manners, but one of my people's people saw something a little strange in the sewers last night. I really just wanted to check in and make sure you were okay.
Go ahead and roll charm. DC's going to be a 15.
Can I use my supernatural charm?
Haven't you already used it?
Did I? No, I was gonna, but you didn't make me.
Okay, then yes.
Hey, 13.
Very close. Very
It's
close.
not a 15, but you know.
Also, everybody, don't forget to take adversity tokens if you're
Oh,
taking,
thank you.
because I have forgotten to remind people many times as we've been rolling this second.
And
Remember to take
I'm-
adversity tokens when you lose.
Easygoing means I get 2, right?
Yeah.
Yay.
She kind of looks at you and she's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, the sewers are dangerous. They've always been dangerous. That's why we're the only ones that go down there, really.
Right, but at least as far as I know, they haven't been maybe weird people in rat costumes or giant rat people dangerous?
She kind of like laughs a little bit. Rat what?
I mean, that was my question too, but apparently one of our people saw someone dragged down into your sewers either wearing a giant rat costume or an actual giant rat person.
Who saw this?
Friend of a friend. I mean, not always the most with it, but reliable. Reliable enough that I was legitimately worried about you, Geraldine.
Wow. She kind of looks over, kind of like in the corner, as if she's thinking to herself whether she should disclose this information. And then she kind of looks back at you. Well, nothing to worry about. I've been literally in those sewers since I was like 14. So I think I can handle myself. But I would suggest you and your people stay out of the sewers, just in case, like you said, it's dangerous.
Now, don't take this the wrong way, because I know that you're perfectly capable of taking care of yourself. But if you do end up coming up against something that is strange and new and you might need allies for, you know you can call on us. I'm like kind of batting my eyelashes a little bit.
She puts back on her coat, grabs the teacup, downs the entire thing in one gulp, and sets it back onto the little teacup platter. Right.
Did Lawrence ever come back with pastries?
No.
Lawrence!
Nope. Listen, you gotta stop calling me here for just random lunches and teas. Don't you have work to do?
I try really hard not to.
That makes her smile a little bit, but she tries to like keep the smile to a minimum. But she kind of stands up. I gotta get back to work.
Well, have fun, and maybe next time I convince you to join the world of the living, we'll actually have some pastries.
She kind of puts an eyebrow up. Oh, yeah, I forgot your letter said there would be pastries.
Apparently so did Lawrence. Again.
Well, maybe next time, but not too soon. The more I come around here, people might think we're friends.
Oh, silly. We are friends.
She kind of gives you a small smile and makes her way out.
As soon as she leaves, Liv throws a minor tantrum in the room.
Back to Kallie, who is waiting for Fatima. You have been shown in to kind of like the main area and kind of sat down on a bit of a plush red velvet couch as you kind of wait.
Kallie motions for Eric to still stand.
Of course he does. He's literally standing with hands in lap, respectfully standing next to you. And then Fatima comes out. It is in the afternoon, but she's kind of wearing very much a like one of those long fluffy robes that like go that has like a full train. She's full face of makeup and hair and rollers because she is always in glam as she kind of walks out to see you.
Apologies for not calling ahead, but I heard you had suffered a great loss recently, and I wanted to acknowledge that.
She kind of smiles at you. Oh, that's so sweet of you. And is this from Raymond or Liv?
It's with the hearts of my whole crew behind it.
Oh, that is so precious of y'all. She sits down next to you. It has been such a day, you know. She was my seventh. And she begins to basically go into a long story about when she first got her as a kitten and the type of toy she liked to play with and how she used to make funny little noises early in the morning when she wanted something to eat. And at this point, it's been like 10, 15 minutes of her.
Yeah, Kallie's just eating it up, active listening, asking questions. What does it turn out the cat's name is? Like the jaguar.
What is the cat? I know I actually wrote them down, but let's say, because I don't have it up, let's say this cat's name was Carlton, because that's fun.
It is such a loss to lose a member of your family. It feels like, right?
Oh, I know. I cried for days. She's so playful.
Yeah. We were definitely concerned about trying to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else or any of your other pets, family members.
Well, you should, because those animals could do this to anybody.
Yeah, our own man said rat people. Is this what you've heard?
Rat what?
Oh, that hurts your dear Carlton. You haven't heard that this is likely the danger? I mean,
no.
I hardly believe it myself.
No, Carlton wasn't, accosted or by a rat or a rat person. I've not heard of that.
Oh, okay.
She's kind of looking at you so really weirdly now and suspiciously.
Oh, apologies. One of our men last night, early in morning, saved another person from what he called a rat person. We're not sure if he's been drinking, but I didn't know if you'd heard of such things.
No, I don't. I don't really concern myself with the sewers.
That's fair. I don't really either. That's more for other people that I employ. But
What killed her cat then? I'm not there, but also what killed her cat though?
yeah, I know. What did you determine? So it wasn't related to the threats. What did our dear Carlton? How did he meet his fate?
Well, he was mauled by,
Oh.
I'm assuming, either a bear or a mountain lion or perhaps a pack of wolves.
Oh, I see. I don't feel like we get many of those in Chicago these days, but
I didn't think so either, but
it's quite scary.
That's what they said they thought it would be. You know, there were claw marks and half of her body was half eaten. Yeah.
It's so sad.
And it wasn't one of my other cats. They would never.
Yeah. Oh, of course. They are brethren. They would look out for one another. They are a pack.
I keep him inside nowadays. That was a rough time for everyone, and they're still grieving.
Yeah, of course. You must take your time with such things.
She looks down at the flowers. Are these for me?
Yes. For your time of mourning.
Go ahead and roll charm.
Oh no.
I think you did a
Not to
pretty
be.
good job so far. I'm going to say the DC is going to be 7, though, for Fatima, because these better be some damn good flowers.
Well, I rolled the 1 on the D4 yet again. So
No.
We're in trouble this time, guys.
what did I do wrong?
She looks at the flowers and then looks at you and just kind of gives you another like small smile as she calls over her hand, kind of like person who is working on the house who let you in, and she is the one who takes the flowers from you. And she's like, "Thank you so much. Those are darling. Well, I don't want to keep you. I'm sure you're busy, but thank you again for coming and
You're
listening."
very welcome. I do not want to take any more of your time today. So I will
Lovely.
be on my way.
As you get up and walk out the door, you can hear the flowers hitting the bottom of a garbage can, and you walk out the door as Fatima kind of begins to lounge on the couch.
Eric, we must do better research.
You got like some flowers for a wedding or something instead of the funeral flowers.
I brought like red roses.
Where are you making your way back to your company?
I'll head back to the.
Also, at this point, it's around the time Raymond needs to meet with Gerald, which is a couple of hours from 8 p.m. So let's get back to Raymond, who's also with Cesar, and see how that goes. Raymond and Cesar, you guys make your way to the area where you usually meet Gerald with the unconscious mystery man.
Yep. I have a couple of things I want to do before I enter the sewer.
Okay.
First, I want to put on my waders over top of my suit coat because there's no way I'm getting this that dirty. And then I also want to put on real big rubber boots over my shoes. And then I also want to have Doris on my shoulder. And then I want to put a blindfold and a gag on the guy while he's still unconscious. And then also put a bag over his head.
Okay.
And I want to have my gun.
I'm going to make sure this guy's tied up too.
Oh, thank you.
Now, this meeting place, is it actually in the sewers?
Yeah, because I think we established before that I have a favorite sewer entrance, and it's around there. You know, so Doris can see a family.
Okay. You go down to this meeting area with Cesar and the unconscious guy who's tied up and blindfolded with a bag over his head. And as you guys are just walking to the meeting place, you begin to kind of hear shuffling of perhaps their feet, perhaps they're something else. It just kind of sounds like someone else is down here.
I did not say I brought a lantern, unfortunately. Sorry. I'm just going to call out and kind of be like, Gerald, are you ready for some Practice? I got a nice target here. We should keep to the limbs at first.
You guys continue to walk towards the area for your meeting as you call out. You don't get a response, but you both still do hear the general like shuffling. And then as you get closer, you hear something else. It's not like a whistle, but it's I don't know, it's a bit of like a high-pitched squeal maybe, but it's like muffled a little bit, almost as if it's like pipes have burst, or there's like steam. So it doesn't sound alarming at first. It just sounds like noises you'd get in the sewer.
All right. If we get to the spot without being accosted, I'm going to set the guy up, like sitting against the wall, and then I'm going to kind of smack him awake, leaving his bag on.
Yeah, you guys get to the spot, you set him up, you kind of smack him around, and he begins to come to. He's in a lot of pain. And so he's kind of coming to, but he's also already like mewling and moaning because he's waking up to being in pain, but he is slowly waking up.
Oh, Gerald, don't let me have all this fun without you, my boy.
As you say that out loud, you can now clearly hear that there are definitely footsteps coming your way.
Can I see the person yet or no?
You cannot. You know that the footsteps are coming and you hear that they're getting louder, but when you yell out to Gerald, you don't get a response.
Has Cesar been to these meetings with you before?
Has Cesar? You mean?
Yeah, have I ever been to these meetings with you before?
Probably once or twice, because like
I,
obviously we're shooting dead things in the sewer, so we need somebody to carry stuff in and out with us. So I'm sure you've been to like one or two.
I think in that case, I'm just kind of standing off to the side next to this guy. I've pulled out a pair of gloves and I've got my hands covered now. And I'm just, I would say I've pulled out my Bowie knife and I'm just kind of holding it probably behind my back or at my side.
I'm gonna pull on a set of gloves, very nice leather ones, and pull my gun out of my pocket, and I'm just gonna like walk back and forth in front of this captured person, and I'm gonna be talking sorta to him and sorta towards the footsteps. I'm gonna be like, we found this one lurking around up here. Not sure whose he is. He won't talk, but I'm sure we could make him. And just kind of nudge his arm with my gun so that he can feel the barrel of it.
You continue to talk to the guy. He's now fully awake and he's kind of staring at you. Did you gag him, or is he free to talk?
He's gagged, blindfolded, and he has a bag over his head. Because if he was one of Gerald's guys, I kind of want to like a big reveal, maybe.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, at this point, he's kind of muffled, screaming, so that hopefully somebody can hear him. But the footsteps continue to get louder and louder until they finally do get right next to like the opening of your secret area. And there's a much bigger shadow that is coming across the door frame where like a little bit of light is. And in the door, instead of Gerald, is Geraldine. And you have seen her before. She's very, very tall, like 7 foot, and she has very broad shoulders, and she's wearing a long wool coat. But she kind of just looks at both of you as if she's like just walking by, you know, like she's taking the sewers to go someplace. But she just kind of is like, okay.
Oh, Geraldine. You ain't seen my shooting buddy, have you?
Gerald?
Yeah.
He's probably around here somewhere.
What are you doing down there?
You know, stuff. What are you doing down here?
Stuff.
Just looking for some information. Thought we'd have a bit of fun with this one.
She looks at you, looks at Cesar, looks at the guy. She's just kind of like, all right, well, don't let me get in your way.
Maybe you could help us out a little, Geraldine.
In what way?
I've been hearing a lot about rats in the sewers, and I found this rat in our pier. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Rats in the pier. Can't say I do, no. But I wouldn't stay down here too long, guys. getting late.
Oh, does stuff happen down here these days? Besides, us.
Well, rumor has it there's something, or maybe someone being a bit, what's the word? Territory-y.
Unmanageable?
You could
Territorial.
territorial. No, I believe my word was correct. Territory, I believe, is the correct way.
Yeah,
to
well, grammar isn't one of my strong suits.
Yeah, apparently there's just some riffraff being annoying. They're not a part of the left hand, so it doesn't matter what you do to them.
Yeah, you don't have any of your boys looking into my business, do you?
No.
Well,
Can I charm a little bit?
Do you want to
Like,
try
I
to?
want to try and roll something to get her to talk to me. She's so cagey. And also, why is she here besides Gerald?
You can roll a charm. DC
Great.
is gonna be 15.
Woo!
May you have
then
better luck than me.
Can I push my criminal mastery then? Attempt with that too? That's adding a D4, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Alright, here we go. And does it add the D4 or does it just work if it rolls a 4?
No, you add the D4.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so that's 17 plus 1. So that's 18.
Okay. What do you want to say to her next to try and get something out of her?
I want to say, Raymond just wants to be like, now Geraldine, me and your brother, we're friends. And friends don't hurt other friends' interests. And I've been trying to clear up a little bit of the name of the left hand, just to ensure that it's not you rum runners doing whatever this nasty is down here. So if you want to give me a little information to figure out who is behind this nasty, might help us both out.
Oh, no, it is. I was reading the rolls.
Oh,
It is just a roll of 4.
okay, so that doesn't add anything, so then it's just 17.
Okay. Sorry. What did you ask?
I told her that, like, me and Gerald are friends, and, like, I'm trying to keep the left hand around and working, and people are suspicious of you guys, but if you can point me in the direction of who's actually causing all this dirtiness, all these rats everywhere, that might help us both out so I can clear out the mess.
Gotcha. She kind of just looks at you a little bit. I'll say just based off of the success of that role, you do feel like she isn't necessarily trying to hide something. She's just not saying something. So she kind of just looks at you and she's just kind of like, they're just annoying riffraffs. Wouldn't worry about it. They're not from me, and I don't think they're that big of a deal. We can handle them.
Well, if you need a friend, I'm as much as a friend as anybody's got.
It's kind of what Liv keeps saying. But you two have a great day. And again, and she kind of looks at you poignantly this time. I'd make your way out of the sewers before nightfall.
Will do. And if you see Gerald, tell him I have some shooting. And I'm gonna start working on this guy.
She walks off, and you can hear the footsteps going further and further away. What do you want to do to this guy?
So I want to take his gag off and his bag and his gag, but leave his blindfold to make it a little more scary. And I'm just going to be as intimidating as possible with my gun and just be like, look, you was caught snooping around our pier. It's not looked upon kindly. And you look like a family member of Tony's. So, if you don't want no trouble coming along to your family, I would talk and say who's bought you, or, things could get messier than this, and I'm gonna shoot his toe off.
Perfect. Roll a fight.
Dang.
DC is going to be 4 because he's tied up.
For what? Which am I rolling?
Fight.
Fight. Oh, great. Oh, good. I'm gonna accidentally shoot his head off. Oh, I rolled a 4 on a D4. So
Wow.
that explodes. Oh my god, another 4 and a 1. So
Nice.
a 9.
Yep. You accidentally shoot his head off. No.
What? No! I thought that was a good roll.
Yeah, weirdly, like the bullet ricochets off his pinky into his head. It's wild. Totally good.
Hilarious. No. Yeah. So you shoot his toe off, which is quite impressive since he has shoes on.
Yeah, he's got just a hole through his shoe
Dang.
now.
We are in a sewer. This man is dying of infection if we don't kill him first.
Yeah. And as
fine.
your bullet kind of goes out, and there's a loud ring that happens because you're in an echo chamber, essentially, down in the sewer. And it doesn't leave the sewer. That's why it's the perfect place for this. But it does ricochet throughout the sewer. So anyone inside the sewer can hear it. And as you like say that and shoot his toe off, and he starts to like scream, but he's still gagged.
Oh no, I took his gag off.
Okay.
actually,
Okay. Well, now he's
so
just
that he could talk.
okay. Yeah. Now he's just screaming.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, he's just screaming, my toe, my toe, my toe. Why did you do that? You see and hear Gerald finally arrive. He's kind of just leaning on the entrance of the place as he's kind of lighting up a cigarette. He's like, ooh, good shot, Raymond.
Thank you, Gerald. I'm so glad you could join us.
Yeah, sorry it was late. I had some interesting things to deal with the newer runners, you know. A little scared of the sewers. Anyway.
I've
what do
heard
you
they have reason to be scared of the sewers besides, you and me.
Well, apparently there's some rumors, and he smoking a cigarette as he walks in. So who's this guy?
This guy was caught snooping around my pier with no reason to be there. Posing as an employee, clearly was not. And he won't tell us who he belongs to, so we're doing some target practice.
He kind of looks down at him. He kind of like leans over and looks right in his eyes. I tend to know a lot of people. I don't think I've noticed this one before. Looks
Neither
familiar
have
though,
any
right?
of my guys, right? He looks a little like the Big Tony's kid or something.
Yeah, Big Tony's got a huge family. That makes sense.
Mhm.
You both look at him, and this guy is now extremely terrified, thinking that he's not going to leave the sewer. And he's just like, I'm a second cousin to Big Tony. So if you just let me go, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run. I was just afraid. I don't know why I did it. So
You pulled a knife on my man Cesar here.
well,
That
he's
was
very scary.
smart. No, was it?
Caesar is well recognized around the entire company.
We were out of
no-
coffee. I was worried he would, I don't know, break me in half.
Yeah, well, you made the wrong choice, now didn't you?
Does this kid seem at all genuine?
You
Like,
guys
it's
can-
ridiculous.
I doubt this man.
he's gonna roll a charm.
Okay.
And
Is
you
it
two,
contested?
yes, and you two can roll brains or charm to determine if what he's saying is bullshit. You rolled an 11, so you have to beat an 11.
I
Oh.
rolled a 3.
What if I also rolled an 11?
Oh.
Do we do rollies to figure out who wins?
Meets it, beats it, is it?
Oh,
But
don't
he
forget-
met me and I met him, so like who beat it?
Don't forget to take adversity tokens if you lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can
I'm
always
gonna
spend
say we're gonna do meets it beats it roll. So I'm gonna say in that moment when you're asking that question to like yourself of like, is this kid really just like did he really just do something stupid, or is he actually like on someone's payroll? In the moment where you ask that, I think you go back and forth with like, I mean, he might just be a stupid kid and maybe did something just out of fear. But then something like basically like your intuition kind of knocks that out a little bit as you look at him. And there's just something slightly shifty about this kid. And it's mainly the fact that out of the 3 people here that know both of the people in the city, none of you can place where this guy comes from.
Okay. Then I'm gonna turn to Gerald and be like, I don't believe him. Gerald, would you like a shot? And I'll like give him a little bow.
He puts his cigarette in his mouth to hold it and takes his gun. Why, Raymond, I would love to. and he points it at his other foot, and he's like, I think I'm gonna go for like the pinky toe.
Oh, hard shot, hard shot.
Yeah. At this point, the guy is freaking out. He's like, no. Okay, wait. Okay. I from the Kane territory.
Do we believe him?
Gerald, take your shot.
You can roll to see if you believe him or not. I'll say that if Cesar, if you roll, then your DC is for him is going to be lower because you're probably going to be able to place like all of the henchmen of the Kane territory better than Raymond.
Fair enough. This brain's a charm.
I'm going to say for you, brains.
Okay.
So DC's going to be 4.
3. Wait, I got adversity tokens for that. I'll spend
Yeah.
2. I'll spend 2 to make it
Okay.
a 5 and beat this thing.
Okay. You go through the Rolodex of everyone you know, who even the new guys that you know that are going through like new training, new who's been kind of like initially recruited recently, and no way, absolutely no way this guy is from the Kane territory. Number one, he just doesn't even fit who they look for when they're recruiting outside of the Kanes that are already there. And then second, you all just saw Fatima at the party. Why? Like, why would he be spying at the docks? Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
So I'll
Shoot him,
grab him by
Gerald.
the scruff of his neck and raise him up and say, take your shot, Gerald. This guy's full of more crap than this 2A here.
Yeah.
Gerald takes a shot. I'm gonna assign
So
him
badass.
D10 for his fight. Ooh, 8. Yeah, he shoots. He doesn't get a perfect shot because he kind of hits the pinky toe and like a little bit of the side of the foot, and so he's bleeding a little bit more. And so at this point, obviously, he's screaming even more.
And to make it worse for him, I'm holding him up by the scruff of his neck. I'm not going to let him sit down. He's got to stand on these feet.
You stand
Gerald.
up.
My man, what a great shot.
Thank you. He kind of does like a pistol flip and gives it back to you. It's all about practice.
Have you had any practice with, I don't know, ratmen in the sewer recently?
Oh my gosh. He's like laughing. Raymond, you're like the 5th person who's made that weird accusation. That doesn't even make any sense.
I agree, but listen, there's some weird stuff in this world. I mean, have you met Doris? She is just a magical being, and she can do things. I wouldn't put past Chicago some weird shit going around in the middle of the night.
He kind of looks at his ridiculously expensive watch. Speaking of middle of the night, we're kind of getting late. I got a meeting I got to get to at 8 p.m.
Oh, I got that meeting too. So, kid, you gonna talk?
As you guys continue to get hopefully more information out of this person, Kallie makes it back to 12 Ways Touring, and Liv and Kallie, you two now are together, and you're waiting for Cesar and Raymond wherever they went.
Has Lawrence come back yet?
We'll say in fact, Kallie, as you're walking up to 12 Ways Touring, you and Eric see Lawrence, and he is standing outside of the front doors with his back turned to you.
Lawrence, are you all right?
He turns around and his mouth is covered with powdered sugar and cream.
Lawrence, food or drugs or what?
He just looks at you and he's like, "Oh, Miss." Yep, that's him. Oh, I was just I was getting some pastries, and then
Right, your boss had a meeting.
yes, and I was bringing them back, and I got hungry, and I ate the pastry, and then I went back to the pastry store to get another pastry. Then I walked here, and then I think I ate that.
You ate that one too.
Yeah. What was I? You know what? I think I should go back and get another pastry.
How about we go in to see Liv now? All 3 of us.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. We'll get some pastries later.
That sounds delightful.
Eric kind of looks at you and looks at him and looks back at you like, wow.
Yeah, Kallie just gives him a look like, yeah, just like bows like, whoa. It's like, yep. Kind of like nods towards like let's see what Liv does.
You all walk in and meet up with Millie first, who's in the reception hall,
Yep.
and then head to where Liv is.
Yep. And smile and nod at Millie. Then yeah, head in pretty quickly.
Liv, Kallie, and Eric come in, and then behind them is Lawrence. Not only does he have powdered sugar and cream on his mouth and face, he also has like chocolatey fingers.
Like Liv is sitting on one of the comfier chairs and has clearly been pouting. And as Lawrence walks in, I look at the clock, I look at him, I look at the remains of the pastries. Like, Lawrence, what happened?
Oh, I met Kallie at the door, and we
Mhm.
decided to get pastries later.
Oh, right. And what happened to the pastries I sent you to get 5 hours ago?
He kind of looks at you, and he kind of does that. He kind of does like the Puss in Boots, big eyes, big cat eyes. I ate them.
Were they good?
Oh yes, very good.
Well, I'm sure had they been here, it would have been really helpful at the meeting. But I'm not mad. I'm just a little disappointed.
I was gonna go back and get another one.
Were you going to eat that one too, Lawrence? Though
He gives you the cat eyes. Yes.
Lawrence, are you okay? Do you have a problem with pastries?
I don't know. The lady at the pastry counter is just so nice. And she always gives me the best, freshest pastries. But I should probably stop buying pastries when I'm hungry.
Okay, Lawrence, why don't you go back and get some more pastries and don't come back for a while?
Okay.
Okay.
He makes his way out to get more pastries.
You know he's just gonna eat them again.
Yeah, I know. And I hope he gets a stomach ache
Why?
and learns a lesson
Why are you still asking him to buy more?
as punishment. It's called
Is
too
it?
much of a good thing.
Oh, I see. At what point does that hit?
Oh, well, given both of our natures, probably never, but I keep trying. It's fine, as long as he's happy.
Do you need a hug? You sound sad.
Oh, yes, please. No, she kind of like puts her arms out.
It'll just be like I assume Liv gives like dainty, like not like genuine hugs.
Liv's a hugger.
Okay. Yeah, Kallie will give you a hug.
Oh, thank you, Kallie. I do feel better. How did your outing go? Mine was a failure, abjectly.
Fatima threw away my flowers, but I found out her cat was mauled.
Oh, so it was a giant rat?
I mean, she laughed when I said that, but maybe half-eaten claw marks. It sounds maybe rat. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it sounds wild animal, and there are a few suspects on the property already.
Yeah. I mean, good thing her cats aren't pastries. Or Lawrence might be a suspect.
Oh, I don't think he's eaten anything alive for a while.
Okay. These rat people. That sounds silly, right?
Well, Geraldine seemed to think so, and she's the one who's down there the most, but she also did say that we probably shouldn't go down there much ourselves, which, normally I would assume was her trying to keep us out of her business, but I know Geraldine really does love me, so she was definitely looking out for our best interests.
She's worried about your well-being.
Oh, for sure.
That's good to know. I'm not quite sure who is actually looking out for the well-being of our crew, but if you think Geraldine is, I will take you at your word.
Well, I can't think of another I did think of another explanation, obviously, but the one that makes the most sense is, in fact, that she is looking out for my well-being.
No, you are quite well loved, so.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. I know it, but it's nice to have it acknowledged.
Oh, I'm sure the applause is only takes you so far. So
I need it like Lawrence needs pastries.
clearly, I mean, yeah. So where's everybody else?
Oh, well, Cesar was going to the drop-off and then the docks, or was it the docks and the drop-off? And then I think Lawrence is going to go find somebody to shoot. Not Lawrence. Raymond. Lawrence might shoot someone for a pastry, but Raymond was off to find a victim.
I see. Why does Raymond need to shoot a person? A man?
Well, I think that's what he and Gerald do is, their bonding time.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Millie would have the above table. Millie would have the details of where Cesar and Raymond are.
Okay.
What kind of flowers did you get, Fatima?
Some are we gonna say red roses? That's the one, yeah. Red roses.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
I heard them go into the trash, so I think I got it wrong for mourning.
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody gives you red roses, I don't think I'm sorry for your loss is the message they're really trying to send, but
Yes, I see how I might have failed there. So
unless it's sorry for the loss of your, meddling husband that was in the way, and now that anyway, not the point. We should ask Millie where Raymond went.
yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Millie.
Hilarious. Yeah, you guys ask Millie where they went. She lets you know that Cesar decided to go and do his rounds on the dock, and Raymond sent a correspondence to Gerald to meet at I think a specific time, whatever that specific time was, at their spot in the sewers.
It was 3 p.m.
3 p.m. And we'll say it's past 3 p.m. at this point because they have already met. So you guys are kind of catching up to what they're doing. And she kind of just looks at you two. I can send somebody to let them know that you'd like to meet before you all disperse, or
Well, more than do you know if Cesar went to the warehouse before this, or are we going to have to do that?
So that is you're talking about the Volkov.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is whenever you guys want to
Great.
go pick it up. I did just get a quick correspondence from the Volkovs just asking, like, is it still going to be today? Because no one has come and picked it up yet.
Oh. I mean,
They seem to have been indisposed.
does it need to be today? Are they going to be upset if we make them wait? What was the vibe you got off the message?
The guy was, he was vaguely tall. It's like 5 something, attractive, I suppose. I don't know.
I mean, was it
No.
urgent?
Let her continue. This is important. Go on.
Okay.
And I guess he was wearing, decent clothing. Maybe last year's fashion, but he seemed nice. I don't know if I would call what we had a vibe. We only spoke to each other for about 2 seconds, but
He did not ask you out on a date.
no. But I also only got like his first name, which was Jeremiah. It's very nice.
Jeremiah is a good name.
Very traditional.
He seemed good. He seemed nice. Was that what you were
Parents
asking?
sound religious.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Well, very important biographical information. Good catch. You always want to know who the friendly ones are. But did he seem to think that it would be a problem if we didn't come pick it up today? Like, was he kind of grumpy and in a hurry, or just laissez-faire?
I'd say he was just doing his job. Is that kind of what you were looking for?
Perfect. Keep
Did
paying
not
attention to those
seem
important details.
pressed. Okay.
I can send a correspondence letting them know that you'd like to reschedule for another day.
How much time do we have before, like, do we conceivably have time to pick Cesar and Raymond up at the sewers and go to this drop-off without
I'm gonna
being
say
late?
if Cesar, Raymond, and Gerald are done with their conversation with the gentleman in the sewers, by the time you get there, you guys would probably have like 2 hours to get to the Volkovs, do the deal, and then you'd all have to go to the hotel, or like whoever needs to go to the hotel would go to the hotel if you're not all going, because you probably wouldn't have any more time left to do anything with that. So it's possible, unless things start getting out of hand, you never know.
Well, I mean, I can get away with pretty much anything when Rudolph's involved, but what do you think, Kallie?
Do you think our colleagues are indisposed, or should we give them more time?
Oh, we can always pop by and see what their progress is like. Worst case
I
scenario,
mean,
we just
hmm.
run back here and have Millie send a message.
Yeah, I guess I don't have much else going on this afternoon, so.
Oh, actually, Millie, do you have a runner with you right now, around here somewhere?
Yes, of course, Miss Liv.
Okay, great. They can come with us. Or do you want it to be Eric, Kallie?
I mean, Eric will follow us regardless. I think he is my cousin, so
Right.
he cares greatly. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
about our success.
Millie, why don't you just give us a runner to come with us, and if we need you to send a message to the Volkovs, we'll send the runner back with it, okay?
Sure. Quick question to Raymond. Would they know where your secret spot is?
Not necessarily. Like, I think everybody knows where the entrance to the sewer is that I like to go to, but I don't think everybody knows where in the sewers my spot is.
Is it conceivably close enough that if we shouted at you, you might hear us?
But yeah, I mean, it echoes in the sewers.
Okay.
So, sorry. I'm having a tough time with this cough.
I think
problem.
3 of us have coughs
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I will say that if you're able to find the area, then yes, you'd be able to overhear them. But since it's supposed to be a secret area, really only the people who know that area either exists or they know the path past the area, like Geraldine. Like obviously Gerald and Geraldine know about the secret area because they both use that specific like sewer area. But she just doesn't go to that meeting spot because she has no reason to, except for today because she just happened to be in the area. So I'll say that if you guys get lucky or you figure out how to get to them, how to get to like that area based on the entrance, then you can shout out and see, you know, if he'll answer. So as you guys and the runner makes your way to the entrance, go ahead and both roll brains. DC is going to be 10 to try to figure out if you can get inside of Raymond's head and determine where you could possibly be.
Great. I only need my dice to explode.
Rolling
Which they
brains.
did.
Hell yes, Liv.
I know my boss. Oh, and then it's a 1. So 11.
Okay, well that beats the DC. Lauren, what did you get?
This was for brains.
Yes.
A whole 3.
Hey.
Okay. And I'll say the runner auto fails. They're just following y'all. They don't know where you're going. But Liv seems to be able to at least figure out, based on the entrance and how she knows her boss, and probably is really nosy and has figured out where the secret spot is.
Also, maybe that, if you need to call it out.
And so she's able to lead you guys to the area where they are, but not necessarily the exact spot, obviously, because it is supposed to be off the beaten sewer path. As you guys are down there, you also hear a light swooshing sound of feet or something in the water. But unlike what they heard earlier, you also hear a skittering noise, but it seems to be coming from the walls of the sewer as you guys make your way down the sewer looking for this opening that could be anywhere, but you know it's in this part of the sewer where Raymond and Gerald possibly are meeting.
Are you sure this is the right way? I don't want any rat men to come out and attack us.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's any rat men in the area, but this is definitely the right way.
I don't really want to admit this. I'm feeling a little afraid.
Oh, it's okay. I won't protect you, but I'll offer moral support.
Yes, like you always do, Liv.
Well, we have our strengths, and strength isn't one of mine.
Exactly.
Raymond.
You guys continue to walk, and you start to kind of lightly call out for Raymond, not wanting to be too loud, but also not wanting to be too quiet so they can hear you. And as you guys continue to walk, you still hear the slight swishing noises, but also the skittering. But now as you get closer, you also hear a strange kind of medium, almost high steam, like low whistle or high-pitched squeal, and it is getting louder.
Oh, well, we could also just maybe wait at the entrance. They'll eventually come out, or they'll never come out.
The Ratmen.
Well, I was hoping Raymond and Cesar, but
oh, I meant that's who got them.
Well,
Maybe we should start planning their funerals
Already.
I mean, that might be a little premature, but I think it would definitely be wise for us to get out just in case. We can't have the entire organization's head collapsing in an instant.
That's true, because Lawrence certainly can't run it with this push for pastries. So.
Well, he'd run it right into the ground.
Yeah, certainly.
As you guys are having this conversation, the runner that is trailing behind you, you hear them kind of get tackled to the ground, or so as you turn around. And I'm going to need both of you to roll fight.
Okay.
And the runner auto fails their fight as you guys see what is essentially a full-grown man with the head of a huge rat and long claws and a long tail that's whipping in the water. And you also see like really deep red eyes that are shining, looking at you as they are crouched over the now screaming form of this runner that is currently being ripped to shreds.
Jesus.
And behind them, you can also see many more eyes coming towards you.
Could I argue for flight?
Yes, you can fight or flight. I will take either or.
Okay, I think flight might be the more appropriate.
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run real fast. I'm gonna run 19 fast.
DC's 15.
That's a 3 for Kallie.
Oh no!
Okay.
Well, my D12.
I'll say Eric is with you, and he will stand with you and probably stand in front of you if you ask him. But Liv, you take off. Kallie, are you doing fight or flight?
I mean, I initially rolled fight, I guess. It was only 5 on fight, so it wasn't much better.
Oh no.
It was just a baby.
Okay. So I'm going to do there. So while this is happening, Cesar and Raymond and Gerald, of course, who's all still standing around this man, you all hear a curdling scream and a bunch of like footsteps in water as someone begins to run towards you.
You've probably heard Liv scream like that before.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, this happened down here a lot.
Kallie, one of these rat creatures is going to lunge at you. Ooh, I rolled an 11, obviously beating your, what was it, 4?
It was 5 on the fight. So yeah,
5?
I'd fight, yeah.
So that is over 5.
Mm-hmm.
It lunges on you. It's able to, actually, would you give Eric free, like, I'm actually going to decide for Eric. I think Eric's going to step in front of you.
Okay.
And so this creature lunges at you, but Eric steps in front and he is pushed to the ground and he begins to scream as well as this creature gouges out a piece of his chest.
Okay. No, Eric, it's... Oh no.
That sounded like, oh no, Eric.
Oh no.
Well, on to the next one.
Yeah.
Good thing I have
Eric
5
will
more
just
seconds.
reappear. I don't know how this works.
Liv is running towards the rest of the sewer, really, because she hasn't yet found the entrance, but Cesar and Raymond, you can hear them. And Kallie, as Eric jumps in front of you and gets mauled, the creature that is on top of the other guy is now like still kind of mauling them, but once he stops screaming, you don't know if he's dead or not, but once he stops screaming, it actually stops mauling him and begins to drag him away into the shadows as you watch.
Eric or a different person?
The runner that you guys brought with you.
Okay. I guess I do have like killing instinct as my second superpower and then fighting hunting instinct as my other. Would that give any bonus to trying to stop?
If you wanted to either do brawn or fight with the other creature, just like stop him, you could just roll that, and then if you wanted to use your instinct, you could roll a d4.
Okay. I'm gonna try to initially get the creature off of Eric. So could I roll like brawn with a d4?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, I'm rolling excellent. That's only a 3 with a D10 and a D4.
Oh.
Oh, Eric.
The dice are contrary to what I'm trying to do, but okay.
What did you get on the D4?
A 1.
You got a 1. Okay. You still technically succeed, but what's going to happen is you're going to notice a lurking terror. Okay. So, because you failed. So, what happens is this creature that's on type of Eric, what are you trying to do? How are you trying to get him off?
I think she ends up like kind of running with like her full shoulder into trying to get him to stop mauling Eric. Like just runs kind of like almost like sideways to try to just shoulder the rat person off.
Okay. This creature is kind of still trying to gouge, and he's fighting this creature off. So like it's gotten a good gouge into his chest, but he's also trying to stop it from continuing to hurt him. And as you try to like basically like get him off, it quickly snaps and turns its head to you and bites into your forearm. And you could swear that you can see venom like going into your veins from this bite. And you can see this creature frothing at the mouth. And as soon as you get bit, even though you're able to wrench your arm away, you're just kind of like stunned at the possibility of you turning into something else because you feel like you've been infected with something.
Lovely.
Liv, you are running, and Cesar and Raymond, you hear someone running in your direction, but as Liv is just running and screaming, I'm going to say, Liv, you can try to notice things around you to find the opening, but also Raymond and Cesar, you can also wait until you see someone run past or go out of the area.
As she is running, she is also screaming, "Oh my god, they are actually giant rat people."
Perfect. I'll say you're probably in a bit of hysteria. So you're probably not noticing too much, but I'll say you're probably looking for an exit. So go ahead and roll your grit. DC is going to be, for this, I'm going to say, what were you at with your SPN, with your supernatural?
My horror instinct?
No, were you expert, novice, or unknown with supernatural things?
Expert.
Okay. Okay, then your DC is not going to be too high. So I'll say the DC is 6.
Great. My grit is an 8, but I rolled 5.
Okay, almost. You are barely keeping it together, but I'm going to say that as you're like running past in places, you're really looking for a really obvious exit, like a manhole cover or a ladder. So you don't see like the blackened out entrance as you literally fly past it. And Raymond and Cesar, you are kind of, engaged, but you hear all this ruckus, and Gerald also hears all this ruckus, and kind of you all are looking at the entrance as you all see, I'm going to say you just see a figure run past, but you recognize Liv's voice as she's screaming.
Okay. If they're running past the entrance of the thing,
yeah,
the secret spot, then Liv did. All right, then I will. Can we see the thing that's chasing her or no?
I'm going to say not yet. You can just hear what's happening a little bit further down the sewer.
Okay, well, Liv's my girl, so I'm going to jump out of the door, and if I can see a threat to aim it at, I'm going to ask Doris to call in reinforcements.
Okay.
To scare off the horde of weirdos with a horde of rats.
Interesting. Interesting choice. Okay. And then what are you rolling?
I don't remember because this is my tinsel gift that I still have. So it's like through Doris. So I don't have it written down what my summon horde requires for a roll. Where did I put it? I don't know. I would assume it's a charm roll through Doris, or maybe a horror superpower in this game. Where's my old character sheet.
While you're doing that, Cesar, what are you doing?
So we still have our injured guy, and we still have our the other guy who's here shooting him with us,
Gerald, yeah.
Gerald. Something's definitely going wrong, right?
You would assume so, yeah.
I'm going to try and use the fear of this moment to get to this guy. So I will grab him by the scruff of the neck, lift him up and slam him against the wall, and say, "You better start talking right now or I leave you for this."
Okay. What do you want to roll to do that?
Can't make a fight. Doesn't make sense. I take it.
Mm.
Could I do grit? Either grit or fight? I can do brawn, but I don't want to break the man. Well, actually, maybe I do.
Well, actually, maybe as a treat.
I mean, if I could do brawn and it makes sense, well, then I'd do brawn.
Yeah, I think if you're pushing him up and intimidating him with your strength, because that's what you're, or you could be technically intimidating him with like the fear of leaving him there, but it's either or. Are you intimidating him to be like, I'm gonna break your neck, or I'm gonna leave you here?
I want him to know that he's gonna be very, very hurt in a very short amount of time if he doesn't start talking.
Okay, well, you could do brawn or charm.
Okay, we will definitely do brawn for this one. 12.
I think based off of what he's hearing, it would be against his grit, but obviously he's going to be having a rough time because he's already afraid.
He's lost 2 toes.
Yeah, so there's no way for him to win that with his D. So, okay, what are you wanting him to tell you?
Who do you work for? Why are you in our pier?
He's basically like at this point kind of scared shitless, but it's just like I was just hired to just keep my eyes open. I haven't done anything.
Who hired you?
I am going to say at this point that he's still very, very afraid of you and the situation, but you can kind of tell he's more afraid of saying what he's saying out loud and then living. So to kind of get him to fully like say it who hired him, I think you're going to need to give him something a little bit more. So either he's going to be like, look, get me out of here and I'll tell you, but then I got to disappear.
Is that what he says to me? Or is that what he says to me?
That's what he says to you, yeah.
And you want to disappear? You worried someone's going to hurt you? Fine, we can get you out of here, but you talk first.
I can't
Otherwise, I drop you in the sewer water and just let you struggle there. I can leave. I'm fine with that.
I can't. Even if I make it out of here, I'm not going to make it out of here. If I say this, you got to assure me.
Goodbye then. I'll just let him go and drop him into the water. I don't know how deep it is, but I'll just let him sit there for a little while and start to move away to let him know that, yeah, I'm just going to leave now.
It's not that deep. But you do drop him, and because he's still tied up, he's still going to be having a hard time getting around. So
and his feet are blown off.
Yeah, and he's bleeding profusely. So he's just going to be like kind of like screaming at you, but in that like desperate type of way. Meanwhile, as you move out into the regular sewers, Raymond, you walk out and you see that Liv is running down the sewers past you, and in front of you, it's quite a far ways away, not too far, but far enough to where if you're not right up, you can't really 100% see the situation, but you can see that at least you would assume it's Kallie. Like Kallie is in some sort of a scuffle with something.
Yeah.
Up ahead.
So I tried to look it up, and mostly all I got off of my tinsel gift was that it works on emotion. So you have to like use emotion to make it work. So I'm gonna turn to Doris and make a heartfelt plea to save Kallie by calling on the horde of rats that live here in the sewers next to these rat men to hold them off long enough for us to run.
Okay.
To
That is
save
going to be
the family.
that. Then that's going to be your charm.
Great. This dice this time. Oh, that was good. That's a 19.
Oh my gosh, that's very good. Yeah. What does the swarm look like as Doris calls it for you?
So Doris like hops down off of my shoulder and down into the sewer, and she like stands up on her hind legs and makes a bunch of peeping sounds that like sound louder and louder than they should because she's a magic rat. And then they echo through, and instead of the skittering from the ratmen, you suddenly hear like a whole bunch more skittering that sounds almost like, you know, when a cockroach like army is like flying through the air. It sounds like that, and it just comes closer and closer, and just this like wave of sewer rats just comes flooding out of every tube that connects this intersection to overwhelm the ratmen.
Love it. I'll say, since that was such a good roll, not only do they overwhelm the ratmen, they overwhelm everything in that area. So, Kallie, you find yourself completely kind of overrun with these rats. Eric finds himself overwhelmed with these rats. They're just not going to hurt either of you. And instead, by the time the rat horde subsides, there are just several like big, large lumps of what you would assume is leftover flesh of these rat people that are bobbing in the water. And they are kind of still swarmed with rats while the rest of them dissipate. And Kallie, you are free to get up and move around, and Eric starts to get himself up. Liv is still running. And so I'll say that Gerald, kind of as he comes out and Cesar comes out, Gerald is going to run after Liv to kind of just help her.
And I'm going to gently pick up Doris and say, "You are the bravest rat that ever existed in the four corners of the earth, and I love you, and you're getting wine cheese tonight." Put her back in her little bag.
She's very happy at that. Liv, you feel somebody grab your arm as they kind of like stop you from running.
I feel like in my current panic state, I would like try and like smack at them, but I'm not good at it, so I don't think it would make a difference.
You could flail, I think.
Much
not really
flailing.
knowing.
So
Yeah.
much flailing. So much. Oh no, don't tear me apart. I'm too pretty to die like this down here. I can't leave a smelly corpse.
You kind of hear the voice of Gerald kind of finally kind of bring you out of your hysteria. Like, whoa, relax, hon. You're fine.
Oh, Gerald, hi.
You okay?
Oh, where's Kallie? Kallie? She was right behind me, I swear.
He kind of looks behind him. You guys are quite a far ways away now. Like, I think they're handling it. Do you want to come back with me?
Oh, okay, but will you walk in front?
Sure. He lights another cigarette. Come on.
Just kind of like clinging to his jacket.
And he'll walk you back to basically where Cesar is now, standing in the opening. The guy who's inside of the room is kind of like pleading and begging, like incoherently, because he's still really afraid, but he's still not, saying anything of interest.
I think by the time Liv has gotten back to this point, she has regained some of her pride, and seeing this clearly not doing well guy, she'll kind of like give Cesar what he would recognize as a fake angry look. Be like, "Cesar, what have you done?"
You smell this guy ain't talking, so no.
So
Shoot
So
off a
what,
few
you did-
toes, shake him up.
Well, have you ever considered asking nicely? And she'll kind of like push past him and kind of go over close enough to this kid to like talk to him, but hopefully far enough that he doesn't splash any sewer water on her.
Okay.
So it'll shake a little bit of mud off his boots and be like, "I was asking nice."
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Are you okay? Well, no, I know you're not okay, but I think I can help make you okay. You just need to talk to me a little bit, all right?
He kind of looks over at you. They shot my toes.
Oh, no. Oh, that's just awful. And then they dropped you into that gross water. Honey, we need to get you to a hospital or well, I won't go into details, but it won't be pretty.
Go ahead and roll charm. He is pretty distrusting of everyone right now, but he's also a bit in hysteria since he is kind of hearing the ruckus, but he hasn't yet seen the rat people, so he's not as at high hysteria. He just still thinks he's just going to get killed by one of the other bosses.
I mean,
So-
probably.
Is there any way I can help her out, or Cesar can help?
I will definitely take it, but I did roll a 12, so that
Oh,
explodes.
well, there you go.
But
Oh.
please help me anyway. That's an 11.
I think this is a good good cop.
23.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
Jeez Louise. I think this is a good cop, bad cop scenario where like Cesar is like in the background, like cracking his knuckles, like
Oh yeah.
okay, once I get back to you.
He's pulling out his Bowie knife. He's checking the edge of it.
Yeah. So this guy is not really seeing anything good going on here. And then also he hasn't seen the horde of rats from Raymond, but he's hearing a lot in the darkness, and it's freaking him out because he doesn't actually know what's happening.
Poor guy.
So I think with all that combined, he's like, okay. all right, okay. Just get me out of here. I'll tell you, and then I'll skip town or something. But man, I don't know what's going on, but this is freaking me out. This is all freaking me out way too much.
Okay, great. So here's what we're going to do. While they're sorting everything out there, you're going to answer all of the questions that Cesar has, and then I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you get out of this A-okay, all right?
He looks at you and side eyes Cesar, and then looks back to you. I have to talk to him alone?
No, honey, I'll be right here. In fact, if it makes you feel better, he can whisper the questions in my ear, and then I'll ask you.
Okay. So he agrees to that. Raymond and Kallie, what are you guys doing while they're having this conversation? And I'll also say that Gerald at this point is walking his way to Raymond after seeing this interaction with Liv and Cesar and the kid.
Callie's checking on the runner that was getting pulled away. Did he get pulled away? Or did the horde stop it?
Ooh, you know what? That's a good question. Go ahead and roll. Let's have you roll grit.
Callie rolls grit?
Yeah, you can roll for him. DC, I think it's going to be a 9.
But my own grit? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a 16.
Okay. He is still there, kind of barely alive, bleeding heavily, and he was in the midst of being dragged away. But he was then dropped when the rats descended, so he is also kind of half drowning in the sewer water.
Try to pull him out and try to stabilize him in some way.
Okay. You're able to do that with that roll. At least he's alive.
Is Eric also alive?
Eric is alive, yeah, he's standing. He's really badly injured, but he's standing and kind of holding his chest.
And none of the rat men are around anymore? They got scared off, or
they're all dead, and what's left of them is floating in the water.
Ooh.
Yep.
Raven, I'm infected.
You're infected? What?
Gerald walks up smoking his cigarette as he looks upon this scene, and he's just kind of like, holy shit.
Gonna hit one with my toe. Does it look like the head is sewn onto this body, or does it look like freak of nature?
You can investigate the leftovers, I suppose. I'm gonna say though, you do have a rat yourself, so I think you would have like a good knowledge of like actual rat anatomy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can roll brains. I think because these are rat people and you've never seen this before. And what's your supernatural level?
My supernatural level?
Yeah, is it expert, unknown, or your SPN on your character?
Oh, yeah. It was like, I think it was unknown because he's a jack of all trades as far as supernatural goes. Like, he has Doris, but he's not like,
Okay.
he doesn't know all the things. He just like knows of things.
Okay. Then the DC is going to be 7.
Okay. Oh, let's roll good. I don't know. Here we go. Oh, not good. 5.
You can kind of tell just as you look at them that it looks like a scientific monstrosity, not necessarily like a Frankenstein type of like things were put together, more like these things were either born this way or like these
freaks
are
of nature.
yeah,
not
they're like
freaks
freaks
of
of
science.
nature. Exactly. You're just kind of like, to you don't think they were like put together, but you think that perhaps they're like giant rats that happen to look humanoid. So you don't necessarily think
Gerald.
they're human and rats put together.
Put together. Okay. Gerald, you know how those new guys were really upset about something? I don't think they were lying.
Gerald is over with you, Kallie, kind of examining your forearm, I think, as Raymond is kind of examining the body, and then he kind of turns and talks to him, and he puts out his cigarette. Yeah. What did you say these things were?
Me?
I think he's just talking out loud, like as Raymond addresses him.
Giant rat men persons.
He kind of looks at Raymond.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking at here. Some giant rat men.
Well, he kind of turns your arm in his hand, Kallie. This could be serious. You might want to get this looked at.
Will I become one of them?
He kind of looks at you. What? No. I don't think that's how that works. Is that how that works? He looks at Raymond.
I don't know, man. I've heard vampires turn other vampire people into vampires.
I am hungry for cheese. Is that? I mean, but I normally am hungry for cheese. So this is.
Oh man. Oh no, it's taking hold already. We gotta get to a hospital.
I don't know if that's a symptom here. They don't seem to have wanted to eat cheese while they were doing whatever they were doing here. I was thinking more of like rabies or dysentery, something like a disease.
That's it. I'm gonna get the breath. We're getting out of this sewer right now.
Right. I gotta go back down to the south and let my guys know that there are, I guess, huge rats living in the sewers now. It's just so annoying.
I am sorry, Gerald. This is way out of my thought process, but we are gonna figure it out.
All right. I mean, he kind of does a light bandage for you, Kallie, since he had some things on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get that looked at, and I don't know. I don't really know what to do about this situation.
You have never encountered this before. I take it. I am shocked.
Super shocked.
Well, no. I mean, some people that have been in the sewers for a long time, they've been saying some crazy stuff about some weird people living in the sewers. They come out, when the sun is starting to go down, around 5 or 6 or something like that, and they try to avoid coming into the sewers at that time. But Geraldine and I have never seen anything like that, I don't think. So we just figured it was like a folktale or an urban legend or something. Or just, some weirdos.
Legend confirmed. Let's get out of the sewer.
Yeah. Next time we will come with weapons and firepower.
More than one gun.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll catch you guys later. Let's have a above ground meeting from now on, I think.
Yeah. If I live, I will catch you later.
I think you'll be fine. You just need to go to the hospital or something.
What do I even say at the hospital?
Tell them a rat bit you.
How large is the rat bite?
It's a pretty large bite. It's like human mouth size.
Maybe we'll say big dog.
Yeah, I don't know if they will believe me. So
Gerald kind of like waves his hand to you guys, and he's gonna walk in the opposite direction where Geraldine walked, and in the sewers to get out. And I'm going to say that you are all now together as Liv has been brought back and Cesar is there. Cesar and Liv and the guy basically spills the beans and he tells you that he was hired by someone in the Russo gang, though he can't confirm that it was Mrs. Russo herself.
Like he can't confirm wink wink?
More like he was clearly told by like an underling or, you know, a second boss or something like that, but there was no indication that they were direct orders.
What was he ordered to do?
He was ordered to simply just look around, just keep his eyes open, and just to report. Basically, kind of being a bit of a little spy.
A spy.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to keep his eyes open, report on a regular basis. Wasn't supposed to do anything in particular. And he actually does work. Like he works at the docks. He's just not there very often. He tells you that he was hired by Big Tony. He does actually know Sammy. He's fairly new, but like he was just hired to keep his eyes open and just be present at the pier and keep his eyes on the dock for anything.
I'm gonna hand signal to Cesar. Cement shoes? ?
Caesar will just kind of do like almost a shoulder shrug and then finger the knife a little bit like, hey, it's up to you.
I mean, I don't want it getting back to Russo that I killed one of her spies, but I also don't want her spying on us at all. Because if we want to take over this gang one day, we gotta get rid of her.
Sends a message. I mean, one of the guys disappears on our turf. You can leave that. Also, that being said, leave him here. Rats will take care of him at some point.
That's
You guys all having this conversation in front of him?
I'm sure we walked away.
Yeah.
Doing in hand time.
Look at
We were doing hand signals.
Okay.
All hand signals, like baseball talk.
yeah. Has Caesar seen these rats yet? Like the big people rats? I was off somewhere else. Do I actually know this? I am committed to the fact that Caesar doesn't believe it.
He's the only one who's like, absolutely not. This did not happen.
Unfortunately, I think Cesar, you're just seeing like lumps of flesh, and Raymond is telling you that they were giant rats. And Kallie does have a big gash, but so does or a bite, but so does Eric. He has a big gash. So something definitely got at them.
Look, just tell me if it was.
Kallie's writing her will.
Kallie,
We gotta get
fine.
Kallie to the
Not-
hospital.
Relax, it's nothing. It was probably some guy came at you with a baton. No, guys with knives are dangerous in the sewers. And I'll look over to the guy.
There's venom in my veins. Venom.
There's venom in my face.
I can feel it.
Oh my god.
What's so funny? These are your veins. This is serious.
Oh.
Look, you shook up. Just go over to the bar, like one of the local pubs. Get some real strong. It'll clear you out. You'll be fine.
No,
Fills the nerves.
I go to hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Eric
send
and I and this runner. I'm sorry, sir. I don't know your name, even though you work for us. He almost
and the
died.
guy we shot in the toast.
Look, we can make this guy disappear easy if you want me to. Just say the word. I'll have some of the boys dump him.
Do we have a doctor like on our roster to just come tend to us? Or
Tend to
to our
people?
Yeah.
I mean, if we can have one, I would have one.
I will
What?
say that this is probably taking quite some time. So it is getting close to 8 p.m.
No, I
So
gotta
I'll-
get to the hotel.
I'll say that if Kallie went to the Stallion Hotel, there'd be somebody there that could treat her immediately because that's where everybody's going.
Okay.
Oh, look, I got a meeting with the Volkovs. We gotta finish this guy off either now or let him go.
No, we
I gotta go.
rescheduled that. It's okay.
Well,
Oh,
we
you
were gonna.
did.
Well, not. Well, we were gonna send the runner back once we figured out how busy you were, so we haven't technically
You
rescheduled it yet.
Haven't
and I don't-
rescheduled.
No, I don't think the runner's gonna make it back in time.
No, no.
In that case, I gotta go and talk to the Volkovs.
Yeah,
No.
you do. Yeah.
Raymond, what do you want me to do? You want me to ice this guy? You want me to have one of the other guys do it? Are we leaving him here? What do you want to do?
You know what? Let's have one of the guys take him on a boat trip and drop him on the other side of the lake.
I
Just he doesn't have to die. just not be here anymore.
I can arrange that. I'll drag him over to one of the normal drop-offs and have someone come pick him up.
Yeah.
Am I still going to the Volkovs after this?
I feel like you should. We shouldn't stand up Rudolph all day long, but the rest of us gotta get to the hotel. Unless, Liv, would you be okay with going with Cesar, maybe?
Oh, sure. Rudolph and I get along great.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was thinking. So me and the wounded will head to the hotel.
Oh, and Kallie, don't worry. If you do end up turning into a weird rat thing, we'll still take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
feed
sure.
you wine cheese every night.
We'll find the use for you. Rats are good at eating stuff, I guess.
They're good at biting apparently. So
I'm sure we can find a use for that.
So Raymond is taking Kallie and the runner.
And the runner and Eric. All the wounded are coming with me.
What a spectacle.
And Betty's already at the hotel because she watches the apartment. And me while I'm at the apartment.
Who's carrying the unconscious runner?
The car is still here at the entrance
Mhm.
somewhere. So
I mean, Kallie would still volunteer to carry despite being wounded, and would tell Eric to help.
Okay, I think that works. Because you can carry him. Okay, so we have.
I can't see Raymond helping with that.
We have
get my suit all dirty.
We have Kallie, Raymond, the runner, and Eric all going to the car to go to the hotel to be there by 8. And then we have Cesar and Liv going to the Volkov's warehouse are you doing the pickup or trade, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Oh, you're gonna try, okay. And then who are you sending, or who's sending who to deal with the guy who I don't think we've given him a name?
Yeah, did we get his name out of him, or
I'm sure we have.
Let's say Liv got a name out of him. What should we name him? Let's name him
Bobby.
Okay, Bobby. Let's name him Little Bobby. So
Tony and Sandy and Bobby.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing?
Who are you sending to deal with Bobby?
I mean, probably I'd send Seamus if I can find him, if he's not sleeping the day away anymore.
Yeah. Your right hands always know when you need them, whenever you need them. So if you call on Seamus, he'll be there.
Seamus, I got a job for you. Take this guy and make him disappear. I don't care how.
Yeah. Liv, you kind of watch as Cesar is saying this aloud to kind of no one. And then from the shadows, Seamus just arrives. He's like, sure thing, boss. And then he goes into...
And we're so magical.
Yeah, we are.
Magic is false. It ain't even.
No, Seamus is just a really, he's just always around. He just happens to be always
I have really
Seamus
good
is
talent.
Batman.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, he goes into the room area, and I think he's going to probably not tie him or retie him back up if he's been untied, and gag him again, and then make his way out with him to take care of that. So let's say that Cesar and Liv, you guys are making your way to the Volkov warehouse, and Raymond and Kallie, the runner, you guys are in the car going to the hotel. I'll say that Cesar and Liv, when you guys get to the Volkov warehouse, at that point, it's going to be 8 p.m. And so Rudolph won't be there, but his workers will be there. And so let's have this be the time when you guys decide what this deal is. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Is this going to be a pickup drop off? It's going to be a trade? What is this appointment for?
I mean, given what we usually do,
I mean,
picking up a victim.
Oh crap! I mean, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. I was gonna say either that or protection money of some sort, but you know what? A victim makes a lot of sense for what we do.
Okay, what does that look like when you guys arrive? So this is it's not a giant warehouse, but it is a big building. It's a fairly big brick building, and you can clearly see that it is supposed to be it actually is, the front is a furniture warehouse. So there are trucks like coming in and going out, and there's like a big metal door where people can go in and out if you're like a customer. But it's pretty busy right now, fairly busy, even though it's been blizzard. There was a blizzard that came in town, but they're still making deliveries and whatnot. So what does it look like? Like, where do you guys go, and how do you make this deal?
I think we bring a couple guys with us, and we usually pick up it's like a crate that's usually either bedding or like shelving units, something that you could easily buy for like an apartment complex or a warehouse, something like that. Maybe like a desk chair, a large enough crate to store a person.
Right. Okay. There is that metal door that says, it actually has a sign that says for customers. And so you guys can walk in there. And inside there's like a pretty big open spot where there's a woman behind a desk, and there's like a little cooler and things like that, and just stuff and chairs for people to wait. But you can walk up to her and talk to her.
Is she the
Hey.
one who's usually here?
Yes.
How often does Liv come down here? Is this my department or is this your department?
I think she would come if people asked her to, but she really tries very hard not to work as much as possible. So
All right, so I'll go over to the desk, lady. Hey, I'm here to pick up an order.
She looks up at you. Good afternoon. How may I help you?
You gotta pick up an order for Skitsman?
Skits what?
Skitsman.
She like does a long sigh and opens the book. And while she's opening this huge book, you kind of see her hand move to the side, like underneath her desk, and she presses a button, and a little drawer opens, and she opens it and takes out another smaller book and puts it on top of the big book to where only you guys can see that. How big is your shipment, Skitman?
I believe it was 2 crates, a shelving unit, and a refrigerator.
2 crates. Yes. And she takes a red marker or a pen, kind of licks the top of it and checks it. And then she turns the book around so that you can sign. Sign here, please.
And I'll take my non-dominant hand and it's sign Skitsman. It's a really terrible hand. It's the one I use.
She takes it from you. Before she even says anything, there are 2 huge crates that are being rolled out from the side door that's like kind of to the left and behind her. They're being rolled out by 2 workers. And they're like, where do we put them, sir?
And move them out to the back. I think we usually do, was it Bay 2, Bay 3? I got some guys with a truck who'll be here in a couple minutes.
Right, gotcha. And they take it back to the area. She kind of just looks up at you. And your payment?
Over to Liv. Yeah, you got it.
oh, sure. I take out Raymond's checkbook.
Wait a minute. Aren't they supposed to pay us?
I thought we're taking care of their trash.
Yeah.
Oh, are you guys picking up? Not. Oh, sorry.
We're picking up.
But if they need like a check or something for like the books
Oh.
to prove that it was like a legitimate purchase of this shelving unit and fridge, Raymond's checkbook.
That's funny.
Just
No,
say-
They launder
I
money
need
to
the-
us in other areas. This is for the books.
no, she just needs the signature. So yeah, you guys get that. And I'm assuming that your payments are not. You don't get payments there. But yeah, so she just goes, all right, thank you. Have a good day.
To make it as horrible as possible, the payment is also in the crate.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes.
Makes them
I
hold
mean,
it.
We don't just dump the crates. Yeah. Or do we? I don't know.
I'm sure you open it and question the people inside and then kill them. If they're
Well, you
not
guys
dead
have-
already.
You guys have picked up your
I
shipment.
got it. Surprise.
Coming back to Kallie and Raymond, who make it to the hotel with the unconscious runner and a badly injured Eric. Everyone is already in the lobby, kind of like waiting. And there are definitely many, many people that Raymond, that can, like quickly have
Catch
like
up.
brought their doctor's bag because they always have it on them type of situation.
Yeah.
So you can kind of grab somebody and be like, hey, can you fix these guys up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the hotel infirmary and get them all patched up.
I'll say that Eric gets patched up pretty easily. The runner is still unconscious, so he's going to be, just in admitted. And then Kallie, the person is kind of like working with you. They are able to get you all cleaned up and they get you stitched up and things like that. But they are very worried. They're kind of looking at you and the wound, and they're trying to figure out like what bit you to figure out if they need you to get more medical attention. What did you say bit you again?
Like, look at Raymond.
A giant
waiting for
dog. It was a giant dog.
with venom. With venom. Yes, venomous dog.
What?
A giant dog with venom.
I think maybe she's a bit delusional about the venom, but definitely a big dog. Lots of drool. Kind of freaky.
I can feel the venom in my veins.
Okay, well, let's get a sample of this just because it's just to make sure. And if there is anything, we'll get you properly treated. How about that?
You got any rabies shots, maybe?
Do you believe that the dog had rabies?
Yes,
Oh, it was a big dog and it bit her.
definitely foaming at the mouth. Yes.
Oh,
Venom
okay.
dog. Yes. Rabies.
Okay, well, let's look into some of that. So they start basically testing on Kallie, like they're taking your blood and they're checking you out and stuff like that, to determine what they might need to do for you. In the main hall,
Sorry, Tasha. Can I ask an above table question?
Yes.
How much longer do you think we're gonna go?
I'm wrapping it up now.
You're the best.
Yes. In the main hall, there is a bunch of, like, everyone's there. Fatima is there. Rudolph is there. And Esfira is there. She rarely makes it out, but she is actually there today because everyone was required to be there. And you're there, Raymond, as Mrs. Russo walks out to discuss with everyone her announcement. She essentially kind of speaks to everyone.
Are we all kind of like standing in a circle, or are we all like sitting down? Or
so you guys are actually all standing or sitting in the lobby area, and she is like on the second floor, like looking over at all of you, like on a second floor balcony type of situation. The second floor hallway.
I'm gonna try and stand close to Fatima then.
Okay. Yeah, and Fatima sees you and she just kind of gives you a nod. Rudolph is, of course, in the corner somewhere, looking just not happy with that he even has to be here. And then Esfira is sitting a bit away from everybody because people tend to stay away from her. But she is there and she's sitting kind of silently. So Mrs. Russo is standing and looking over at all of you. And she goes, "Thank you all so much for coming. It has been a long year. It's been a great year. And I want this year to be even better. So I have an exciting announcement. We have some new friends in town." And almost on cue, there are 3 shadows that come kind of out of nowhere, that are 2 on the left of her and 1 on the right of her. They're all really tall men that are wearing kind of like general, like nice suits. One of them has a pinstripe suit, another one has a black suit, and another one has more of like a cream suit on. And they all look very similar, but they're not twins or related. But for some reason, they have a weird symmetry to their faces. And they all kind of look down at all of you. And she goes, "I am instilling a new faction, let's say. Someone to help keep us grounded, keep us as a family. The Red Syndicate, we need more trusting bonds. And I'm just trying to make that happen. We've been hearing a lot of weird and strange rumors about the stewards. The left hands, they're honestly have just gotten completely out of control. And there's been a touch of infighting, I've noticed. So the wise men will be our new friends, our new wise guiders. They'll be in your territories, they'll be in my territory, they'll be everywhere, all the time, watching, listening, being there for you and me. So be kind to them and consider them new friends. And that is where we'll end for today.
Oh, I don't like them already.
Why do we feel like we just mugged the wise man?